And joining us now from Zimbabwe is journalist Keith Baptist. And Keith, so thank you very much for your time this afternoon. Let's start with the mood in Zimbabwe. I do know that people were at the voting stations from 5 a.m. this morning, really excited about voting for a potentially new dispensation in Zimbabwe.
Basically, people are excited, and for once, this is going to be the only election that we won't have Robert Mugabe. So that's one thing for people to celebrate. The second thing is that the media, for once, you're now able to see billboards, radio adverts of the opposition. In Mugabe's era, that was impossible.
Right, Keith. Let's talk about that press conference over the weekend that had former President Mugabe make it very clear that he did have a successor in mind. That's of course the former defense minister. Do you get the sense that this tarnishes the credibility of President Mnangagwa a day before the polls?
I think to a certain extent it sort of does, in the sense that Mnangagwa himself has always held Mugabe as, the icon, the person, the go-to, the leader, the father of the country. So for that person to then now say, I'm not endorsing you or I'm not going to vote for you is a shocker.
Right, Keith. There were also reports that the ZEC did lay charges against Nelson Chamisa for allegedly campaigning after the 24-hour ban on campaigning before the elections. What did this do to the mood, and really what could potentially happen to Chamisa's chances of winning the elections if he does win? I mean, what could happen here? What do these charges lead to?
Basically, these charges, just because, 48 hours into the election, there's normal campaigning that's supposed to happen. And then in the instance of things like that happening, ZEC hasn't made it clear on the form of action that they would take, just because they said that they reported the matter to the police. And I think it's a tricky situation right now to give an exact answer, just because I think also the police don't really know the form of action that they should take, considering the fact that also the president of Zimbabwe, Mangagwa, also then put out a video hours later condemning the fact that Mugabe is now working with Chamisa.
How true are those allegations? I mean, we have heard from reports that Mugabe has funded Chamisa's campaign, and that the Mugabe family is fully behind his campaign for president. How true are these reports, and really, has it done anything to perhaps hurt his potential ascension to power?
I think to a certain extent, it's in yesterday's press conference that the former president held, he openly said that he wasn't going to vote for ZANU-PF, meaning that he wasn't going to vote for Mangagwa. So in a certain way, the ZANU-PF itself, it has put them in a corner where, the person that they've always respected then wakes up and says, I'm no longer part of you. It's tricky now that he also said that, I can't vote for Joyce Mjuru and Kupe, just because he said that they have nothing to offer, in the sense that he just said that they've got nothing to offer and that the only option is Chamisa.
Right, Keith, let's talk about that Afrobarometer poll that went out earlier June that showed that if the election was held right at the spot, then it would be very close to 33 to 40. Well, 33 in favor of MDC and that 42% in favor of the incumbent Emmerson Mangagwa. Do you get the sense that if this actually happened, there would be a presidential runoff? And if yes, does the ZAC have the capacity to pull another runoff in such short notice? Do they have the capacity here?
I think they should have, but it's a little bit tricky to really know what the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission really plans to do in the event of that happening, just because they haven't been open of the fact that if there's going to be a runoff, what sort of action are they going to take? They've just been on the side of trying to listen to the questions and not necessarily answer what people are asking. So in regards to that, I think they should be able to. The only question is they haven't made it clear as to how